It's such a nice day today. So nice, it's perfect to... what is it the perfect day to do? Let me think. I know. I'll use that ghost summoning book I got for Christmas. Let's see. First, I dress up, then get the crystal ball, and finally, I summon. Who should I summon? What the heck? Let's just summon those Laureates Mr. Chung told us about in biology class today. I summon these spirits of biology and the great studiers of life. Come, Mendel, Franklin, and McClintock. Come to me at once. I, Liam the Lovely, Magnificent, summon you. Appear now before me. Okay, that was a fail. What to do now? Oh well, I'll just go see a psychic. Let's see. Here we are. Fates and Fortunes. Wow, what a creepy store. Hope they can help me summon up some ghosts.
1,000 salutations of health and happiness. How may I be of assistance?
My name is Liam and I'd like
A palm reading, your fortune told, tarot reading. We have many options as you can see.
No, not really. I didn't have anything quite like that in mind, Miss...
Ah, I have forgotten to introduce myself. I am Madame Kismet, fortune teller, psychic medium, and seance expert.
I see you have a crystal ball there. Is it possible for you to summon souls?
Spirits, yes, I have that privilege.
Could you summon some people, spirits, for me? Even those who are alive?
That would be my pleasure. Now then, I can summon both spirits that are of this world and those on the astral, metaphysical, and corporeal realms. It would simply be astral projection to the living. In other words, it would be like a dream that is beyond your control, and all you can do is be in it. However, I must say that all the summoning can be quite taxing. Thus proper payment will be required. Also, I can only summon the maximum of 5 spirits for a maximum of half an hour.
Ah, the true nature of a psychic. Money.
No, it's called making a living in a time when no one believes in your connection with the other worlds.
Alright, whatever. So, how much will it cost?
It will cost you 5 years of labor, fetching, dusting, sweeping, being a gopher, and any other menial tasks I may have.
That's labor. Alright, fine. Let's get started. Somehow this reminds me of someone. I wonder who.
To summon, please be extremely quiet while I connect to the astral realm. We will be transported to a common realm.
Like purgatory? Is it really a waiting room like at a hospital?
No. Listen quietly. Now I sustain the connection for long periods of time, but I cannot speak. So for the duration, I shall be mute. Here are my regulations for a successful summoning. You may ask your questions, but do not anger the spirits. Do not provoke them or they may become riled up. You do not want to face their fire. Do not shift from where you are as I summon the spirits. This means no twitching, sneezing, blinking, speaking, etc. Only shallow breathing.
So I should keep my eyes closed? Alright then. Anything else?
When you are done with your questions, simply close your eyes and count down from 3. Now tell me who it is I am summoning. I must know before I perform the ritual.
I'd like you to summon Gregor Mendel, Rosalind Franklin, James Watson, Barbara McClintock, and Craig Venter.
All right. I shall begin now. Poem. Spirits of the other realm, I summon these to me. Malamali Shukapooth Alley Food. Appear.
Wow, that ball was shining so brightly I could feel the heat of it on my closed eyelids, the thermodynamics, and there wasn't even a light bulb or electrical wire in sight. Awesome! There's Mendel, Franklin, Watson, McClintock, and Venter. They're all together.
What in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Mother Mary and Jesus am I doing here?
Mr. Watson, nice to see you again, though this is a surprise.
Yes, indeed it is. Although it is pleasant to see you again. Barbara McClintock, it's a pleasure to meet you. You worked at Cold Spring Harbor where I did as well.
You're Watson, the director beginning from 1968. I remember you were also the one who won the Nobel Prize in 1962.
Wow, all these old people and geneticists. What the heck is going on?
I have never had the opportunity to know any of you. Hence I would like to request an introduction. If I may, I shall begin with myself, although somehow it is becoming apparent that you all know of me. It seems as if I am at a disadvantage. I am Gregor Mendel. I am an Austrian monk who did basic evolutionary research on how we have come to acquire our traits in my leisure. As well.
Brno, which is now the Czech Republic.
Excuse me. I was a botanist, scientist, Roman Catholic, abbot of the monastery, and a lover of nature. I researched and did tests on an assortment of topics including plants, meteorology, and the theories of evolution. As my eyesight deteriorated, I stopped researching.
I think you're talking about epilepsy. It's a tragic way to die, really.
Thank you, Mendel. Continuing on, I am Rosalind. I am a British molecular chemist as well as an X-ray crystallographer. I knew since I was 15 that I wanted to be a scientist. To be frank, I am characterized as direct, honest, logical, precise, and factual. I am unafraid to argue. In fact, I enjoyed a good row or two when I studied in Paris. Another point is that I do not suffer fools.
It was the radiation from all the X-ray work you did. Not only that, you also had all the stress.
I believe it was also due to bronchopneumonia and secondary carcinomatosis. Those were important factors as well. I still remember when all we knew were that the invisible factors were called genes, and it wasn't until the early 1950s, and that DNA was considered genetic material made of sugars, phosphate groups, and had equally matched bases. Although at the time, we still didn't know what it looked like or much about its use. My name is Barbara McClintock and I'm an American scientist. I mainly worked with maize and specialized in the cytogenetic with a focus on corn chromosomes. Most of my work was done before DNA and its principles were understood.
This is why I consider you one of the 3 most important figures in the history of genetics.
Thank you. I spent decades of long hours working alone. I enjoyed my solitude and eschewed most scientific gatherings.
Your preference to not collaborate or converse with others, and your voluntary isolation definitely slowed down your work as well as people's acceptance. As well, you're a woman, you were interested in maize, and you didn't publish. Of course no one was interested in your work.
I'd prefer if you'd shut your trap for a while. Where was I? I wrote a book titled The Discovery and Characterization of Transposable Elements. I received multiple awards for my work, including the American Association of University Women Award in April of 1947. I still remember that the ceremony was unexpectedly pleasant. It was the handsomest group of women I have ever seen, handsome as only intelligent, middle-aged women can be. Another distinguished award was the National Medal of Science in May of 1971. It was given to me by President Richard M. Nixon. That was most memorable by his candid comment that "what was it?" So right, because I do not understand your work, I realize how enormously important their contributions are to this nation. That, to me, is the nature of science to the unsophisticated people.
Don't forget that your research on mobile genetic elements garnered you the right to the 1983 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine.
Yes. That was wonderful. I was 81 and the first woman to receive it in that category unshared. In my final years, I spent much of the time in the spotlight due to that book, A Feeling for the Organism by Evelyn Fox Keller, which made my story public and induced me to give informal talks about my life.
Something interesting that you should take note of is that you would soon appear on the USA Scott number 3907 postage stamp issued May 4, 2005.
That's nice.
Harumph. Last, but not in the least at all, is me. I'm an atheist, a biologist, businessman, American, and an innovator. I served in the U.S. Naval Medical Corps in Vietnam as well. I did a lot of important work, and founded multiple institutions dedicated to DNA research. As well, I wrote multiple books, including Monoclonal and Anti-Idiotypic Antibodies, Structure and Physiology of the Slow Inward Calcium Channel, Target Size Analysis of Membrane Proteins, and A Life Decoded, My Genome, My Life. I could go on about all my life's accomplishments, but there isn't enough time.
That's it for the introductions, correct?
I believe so.
I'm certain it is.
Now will someone please tell me why we're all here? I was perfectly fine, asleep in bed, when suddenly I was sucked through and deposited here.
Ahem. I have a few questions for you, Spirit. My name is Liam. I hope that you can answer them. In your opinion, what were your significant contributions within the field of genetics?
Well, I simply was interested in evolution and how traits were established. That I did a simple pea-plant cross-pollination test. From then on, I did further tests on peas and mice.
This is because the pea plants had easily distinguishable traits. They're quick to grow, have fast reproduction processes, are able to cross or self-pollinate, are cheap, and are efficient.
Why yes. However, the main factor was that at the monastery, we had our own garden.
Of course, however, in his time period, these weren't available yet, and there was no knowledge or advancement in genetics to get to that point.
As I was saying, from my further testing, I developed the mathematical ratio
13 and 9331. We know this already.
My principle of segregation and independent assortment, the coinage of dominant and recessive.
Those laws that we follow, which are that dominant and recessive alleles are passed down randomly. The pair of parent alleles separate, and then one from each parent is passed down. The other is that the traits are passed down independently of other traits, so no new combination of genes can occur. We know all this stuff already.
You're being extremely rude and obnoxious. Let the father of genetics continue. I'm sorry, Mendel. Please do continue. Yes, the experiments and treatises on plant hybrids. It was a wonderful document summarizing most of your research. Well, after your death, the whole world finally recognized it.
That is nice to know. I still remember that I wrote before my death that I am convinced that it will not be long before the whole world acknowledges the results of my work. It seems that this statement was proven true.